Success is a distraction if it does not lead to fulfillment. We have been fed a lie that success equals happiness. That if you greed hard enough, stack enough income, and build a big enough brand, fulfillment will follow. But what if I told you that success, when misaligned, becomes a trap? Hi, my name is 𝐉𝐞𝐿, founder of the 𝐻𝐸𝐺 system, and today we are exposing this lie. Because what most entrepreneurs are calling ambitious is really avoiding alignment with who they truly are. Because purpose is the compass, profit is the path. But when you trade your identity for strategy, you build success that silently drain you. Let's go deeper. The success trap. There was a session when I had revenue rolling in, multiple businesses, books published, stages under my path, stages under my belt, and still I said numbed. From the outside, it looks like I have arrived, but on the inside, I was lost in my own success. I realized I was producing results that looked impressive, but were not aligned with the deeper impact I was created for. Here is the dangerous part. I did not even notice it happening, because when society praises your outputs, it becomes easy to ignore your emptiness. Until I asked myself, if I continued building from this model, who will I become? And based on that discovery, here is what I have discovered. Working with coaches, founders, experts, and creators. Most people don't build business from vision. They build from voids, because they are trying to compensate for not feeling seen, not being heard, not believing they matter. So the next thing they do is that, so they start chasing followers, launch offers, they start joining different set of mastermind, not from clarity, but from a craving to be validated by the algorithm, by the noise in the business, by the noise in the economy. And that's it's chaos. And what does that lead to be? Business model that makes money but drain meaning. Because when you don't have meaning around what you are doing, it can be so painful. When you don't know who you are, you will build wealth that you resent. When you are aligned, your work becomes your witness. So one thing I discovered is that purpose is not about passion. It is an assignment. Let me redefine purpose, not as something inspiring, but something anchoring. Purpose is the assignment on your life that your business is called to fulfill. Now, you can imagine that when you have a business, there's a lot of people that you create that transformation that the business have to serve. Business is one of the best community service anyone can venture into, because when you have a business or when you have an offer, you are changing people's life, because there's something so good that you have that other people have to make use of, and then their life is going to be changed. It's what can transform people's life. And that is why you create this unique premium offer. And that's why you have this business is a part in solving people's problem. But if you don't have a business, how do you want to fulfill your assignments? Because you won't have ability to create something. So either you're a content creator, that's a business. Because as time goes on, when you show your authority in the space that you're serving, when you show your genius in the space that you're serving, when you declare your brand, when people know who you are, what solution you have to address other people's problem, and people will automatically walk down to you and trade their hard-earned money for that solution. You are literally addressing people's problem, giving people a better way to transform their life, their family, their financial status, and so on. So business is an assignment, and we need to treat it as a golden treasure. It is not just about what you are passionate about, what you are good at, or what is the market needs, but it is about the transformation you were born to bring to others through your story, through your struggles, and your strength to inspire, to build, to unite, to engage, to communicate this life transformation. And that's business for you. That is process for you. That's a system for you. So let me ask you this question. What painful moment in your life did you survive that can give you authority to help others to pass through those moments? That is often your purpose blueprints, because whatever thing that you go through and you are able to find a pathway, a solution, a breakthrough, and you actually know that there's someone out there in the world who might need those information or those experiences that took you from here to here. Now you see more clearly. Now you have that breakthrough. Now you have that financial freedom. Now you have that fulfillment that you have been looking for. Now the body is over. Then how can you now position those things and present it to another person other than you and set them free from similar thing that you have been experiencing? That is called a blueprint. What stage and what stage is it going to take you go through in getting that transformation that you already went through, you already passed through, you already mastered in that transformation because it took you those journey. So how does the journey look like for other person? How do you take them? How do you walk them the journey? When you are shifting from purposeful hustle to purpose-led strategy, you don't need another funnel. All you need is alignment. And here is where my wealth icon system begins, with your purpose to profit positioning. Here is how it goes. Purpose to profit positioning. The way I even write, I'm worried that other people will see it. Pop to profit positioning. Then we have to talk about identity is your genius. The things you do effortlessly that others find transformational. What is the things that you do that others find? I'm going to pray, identify your genius, okay? And the first thing, purpose to profit positioning. First, you want to identify your genius. That's it. What is the thing that you do effortlessly that others find transformational? This might be anything that you do, as I earlier said, that take you just like a journey. And after you're able to accomplish it, it delivers the results. And you truly know that someone out there might need this type of transformation. I'll take an example. Let's say you are finding a difficult way to recruit or to hire your first employee as a business owner. Now, probably you went online or some platform, you go through the recruitments, you go through the talking to the employee, talents, and then from onboarding, from recruiting to onboarding to how you structure the entire process, and you are able to successfully screen 10 to 20 or 30 people in order for you to figure out who fits your requirements. That is staffing on its own. Instead of you hiring an agency to help you do the process, now you be the person doing that thing. Like, how do you source for the talents? Which platform do you have to go to source for the talents? How do you talk to the talents? How do you schedule the interview? Now, how do you come to a conclusion that the talent that you want to settle for has all the requirements for that role or for that position? Now, how do you structure their benefit? How do you structure their salary that it meets the demand? Or this is the required salary that based on their skills, their talents, that you can afford? How do you know that the company or your business will be able to afford it? All those are skills. All those are process. And it do take you time to get those things done. Now, you are able to go through people's resume, reach out to them, talk to them, bargain, negotiate, then give them an offer letter, right? Then you're able to give them an offer letter and you get them hired and they are performing very well. And now you sat down and you're like, you know what? It seems like someone might need this. Why can't I put the process, what it takes me in order to teach other people how I do this? Now you tap into your area that become an expert or something that you love extremely doing without you second guess. Like this, when they wake me up, yes, I can turn it to results. Like you don't need to guess about it. You've been doing it over, you have done this over like 1,000 times just to make a number. It's called, it might be your genius. Let's say someone who is very good in soccer or someone who is very good in grant writing. Like if they wake him up or her, it can tell you the skills or what you need in grant writing. And like, it's not something that you have to think about. Boom, that might be your genius. And that is identify your genius. Something that you are good. Like you are top notch on it. I'm still working on making my YouTube video get better, thumbnail get better. I'm still working on it, right? And by the time I'm good, you enjoy a very great video, a very great content. So I'm still putting it together, right? So same thing, someone who tapping in his genius already good, is already in the mastery. So right now, as I'm doing the content, it's not yet a mastery. Now, define your assignments. Who are you uniquely called to serve or to help? Now, number 2 is define your assignments. Your avatar. Who are those that you are called to serve? Because your genius or your process is not going to be for everybody. It must be for a particular set of people. So who are the people that you are called to serve? What is your assignment? It's called the power of clarity. You are trying to streamline. You are trying to narrow it down. You are trying to find the sweet spot where your authenticity can be able to come out, where your genius can be able to come out, where you can be able to serve at the highest level of value. So who are you called to serve? Based on what you have up there, based on what you have to give out, based on how you can take people towards the journey of transformation. Who are your avatar? Who are your audience? Who are you called to fulfill this assignment? And don't forget, since we are all made in the image of God, we are called to make things and other people benefit. So who are your calling? So the third one is, how do you build from identity? Align your message, model, and marketing with your story and solution. Build from identity. Build from identity. How do you craft your messaging? How do you tell your story that people is going to know that yes, you have already gone through this process. You already have a result. You already know what you are saying. You already know the people's problem even before they even think about their own problem. Like, you must know what your audience wants before you show up. You must know, you must first think about their problem before they even think that someone is thinking of that problem. And that is why, like those inventors, those visionary, well, I call them visionary, but those people that invent stuff, they sit down because they think about the big problem. And like how this big problem is going to serve humanity. As a business owner, as an offer creator, you want to sit down when you go through a particular transformation and you redefine it, like how this thing can benefit. Since this thing already benefits me, how can it benefit other people? And how can I tap into my wealth resources, which is my genius, to be able to serve my people at the highest level with this discovery that I just opened eyes on? That become a money magnet. And if you can be able to package it properly and craft a signature message around it, then the sky is the beginning, because you just literally tap into the abundance. And the abundance is the superpower, because there's so much for everybody. Now, how are you using your genius to make this thing happen? So your genius is the main key right here. And you align it to the sources. And what is your belief around sources? Only then do we layer it, offer visibility and system. When we're able to identify our genius, we're able to define our assignments, then we're able to build from identity. Now, we turn all this process to an offer. Turn it to an offer, more offers, meaning that more digital transformation. Then we put it together as a visibility, like how do we get people visibility? Now, how do we get more people to say yeses to this offer? How do we bring out this in form of products to this? We already make it an offer. Then how do we get people to know more about it? Because whatever thing or any system or any transformation that you put together that's going to benefit somebody other than you, if you did not sell it to them, then you are doing disservicing. Every single day, human beings buy and sell. We do negotiation. Let's say you have a children or a child, or the way you negotiate with your business partner, like let's buy this, don't let us buy this, it's called negotiation. The way you talk to your daughter or your son at home that you need to go to school, you are negotiating. You are making them to be more discovery, and that is where this visibility. You are exposing them to what they are not aware of. Now, when you have an offer, you create an offer, you are not going to hide it under the bushel. You want to expose it. You want to make it known. You want to make a lot of noises. And you want a lot of people to take that transformation so they can change their life. Visibility. Then how do you get the visibilities? How do you build around marketing around it? How did people land in your opt-in funnel, your landing page, right? It's part of visibilities. How do you make a big noise in the markets? Is visibilities. Now, when you now create the visibility, now we'll now say, what about system? How do we make this great stuff that we put together here for people to be able to consume it, even without we being there, or without us being present on the delivery? Because when you build a system around an offer, you step away from burnouts, you make more sales, you close more revenue. You'll be able to invest more in the offer. You'll be able to hire more people, more professional or experts, to be able to help you make that system or make that offer more better. That's where the system comes in. Now, if you don't put the system together, how do you want the offer, the transformation to well deliver? Or how do you want people to relate with you? Then, which I come back to the first, purpose, then strategy, second. All these is strategies. Purpose to profit positioning. That is in just simple summarization, in simple terms. So when you identify yourself, you define the assignments, then you build from the identity. Guess what? You create an offer. Then you develop visibility. You do a visibility study. What works? What system and what platform am I going to use? What type of marketing am I going to use? Then you create a system. So the system allows the transformation to easily flow through. Because you need a system. If anything you cannot systemize, you cannot scale it. You have to systemize it in order for you to scale it. Now, I want you to now pause, reflect on these questions or on these old scenarios about your acts regarding identify your genius, or regarding offers, or regarding building identity, or what do you even really call by, right? Reclaiming your purpose. Because everybody have an assignment. You have a purpose. And the purpose is to fulfill the assignments, to get the things done. Because it's already been assigned to you to deliver the message. Just like I'm delivering the message because I'm here just because of you. And because of other people who's going to benefit from it anyways. Right? So what is your assignment? What is your purpose? How are you reclaiming your own purpose? That should be a question that we ask ourselves almost every day. How am I fulfilling my calling? How am I delivering what I was called to do? My assignment on this earth. Like, what problem did I once face that I now help others to solve? Like, where do I feel most alive when helping others? Because these are great questions that you can be asking ourselves. Because when we can be able to create a solution around a big problem, trust me, it's bring joy to us. Like when people are sending you testimonials, how your process changed them, how your system changed them, how you set them free through your thing, and you give them another level of sanity, another level of clarity, another level of fulfillment, another level of divine breakthrough. Do you know that kind of testimony? How when you help others, you help others grow. That is priceless. And so why can't we appreciate our gifts and let's bless other people who need it? So it's our calling, it's our assignment. And until we fulfill it, then we can have that great fulfillment, because when we don't do the thing we need to do, where's the fulfillment coming from? No way. And that is why business is the ultimate sacrifice and the deepest assignment that is very treasurable. I'm not preaching. Then we continue asking ourselves again another question. If I striped away income, titles, and pressures, what work will still feel meaningful? Like I say, a lot of people have businesses, they have wealth, they have do a lot of things in life, but they have not accomplished their purpose in life. They have not accomplished their mission. They don't feel fulfilled because all their works outside is making noise, but inside is burning them. They don't feel joy. Like I too have been in a situation many times, as I said earlier, there's a lot of things that I do that when I sat down, I don't get fulfilled. I'm just doing it to make things happen, to get to where I'm going, which I'm super, super, super grateful, because it's a learning moment. And the day I discovered that I have been doing this particular service for a long time, now it is time for me to be out there, talk to people, hear what they are going through, share my experience with them, give them the supporting resources, walk them through the level of life, and be part of their divine breakthrough and transformation. And the moment I discovered that and I start helping other fellow coaches and entrepreneurs, I was so happy with the testimony. Testimony alone, just testimony. I was like, wow. People write and say, oh, Jeffrey, I say, oh, wow, that is super beautiful. Like, I am happy I was able to help. That is fulfillment to me. What might be a fulfillment to you might be different, because everybody have different opinion toward fulfillment. My own fulfillment is what I just explained, but everybody have different ways of fulfillment. And having money in the bank doesn't mean that you are fulfilled. No, having money is just an instrument to do more things. But when it comes to fulfillment, it comes from the deepest of hearts. And it might be anything, different thing to other different person based on what they called fulfillment, as I earlier said. So when you align everything to whatever thing you are doing, that is the new advantage. Like, alignment is the new advantage to every other thing that you might be doing. You must align them with your identity, with your passion, with everything that circles around you. If you have been chasing strategy but still feel stuck, if your business looks good but feel heavy, it is time to stop scaling from scarcity and join me in the masterclass, where I will walk you through clarifying your purpose, packaging your genius, and positioning your offer at a premium level. Building systems that serve your life, not consume it. Because what you need to know is, success without purpose is pressure. Purpose without alignment is poverty. But only when you align identity with income do you experience the freedom and fulfillment. You were not called to chase money. You were called to release meaning, and the wealth is waiting on the other side of that obedience. There's a quote in one of the wealth icon system. So if this message hits something up in you, comment, subscribe, and share with a visionary who have lost their way in the noise of success. It is time to lead from alignment and build from who you already are. As you can see, we cover the purpose to profit positioning as one of the three pillars of the wealth icon system, which talks about identify your genius, redefine your assignments, build from identity while creating an offer, make the offer visible in the marketplace, and build a system that sustains their offers. Until then, by then, I remain your brother, and please be safe, be blessed, by the best. I can't wait to see you eyes to eyes, nose to nose, toes to toes, where we see and we share a great compliment. Together, we'll continue to grow. Let's share the message of love, peace, and unity. I love you and remain blessed. Peace.